I don't know what you want me to do. Give me a sign, give me anything. B, E, okay, we're getting somewhere, get more. L, C, okay, we're getting there, come on. R, O, you want me to do Velcro? Is that what you want? What's going on, guys? It's Andrew here. We're back with another episode of Embroidery Hub. Now, we can all agree that patches are an awesome fashion accessory. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes, and they're a great way to add a splash of color and personality to anything from a jacket to a backpack and everything in between. However, once you sew them onto your garment or attach them using adhesive, the patches more or less become a permanent fixture of that garment. So, what do you do if you want to change up the patches on your garment? I've got just one word for you. Velcro. With Velcro patches, you can easily mix and match your patches whenever you want, making them one of the most desirable accessories on the market. And best of all, they're super easy to make, especially after I show you how. So in today's episode, we're going to take you step by step through the process of creating your own Velcro patches. We'll show you what materials and how to set up your design in Ricoma. We'll also break down how much money you stand to make embroidering a patch like this. But before we get started, remember to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel if you like this video or enjoy content like this, so you can stay up to date with our latest videos. Let's talk about what we need to make this patch. In addition to our Velcro tape, we're going to need painter's tape, 2 1.8 ounces of no-show mesh stabilizer, our standard 7511 embroidery needles, our felt fabric, our 40 weight polyester thread, and our embroidery scissors. Now, you can use any good pair of scissors for a project like this. However, because I want to make my edges look as clean as possible, I'm going to use these specially designed straight handle embroidery scissors to get as much excess fabric as possible. Last but not least, we're going to need our Ricoma digitizing software. For our specific stitch that we'll use on the outside of the patch, we'll need our Ricoma Lux software that can be purchased on shop.ricoma.com. Let's start by talking about why you should add Velcro patches as a must-have item for your shop. Embroidered Velcro patches are extremely popular, particularly among the military, veteran, and law enforcement communities. As such, Velcro patches are always in very high demand, making them an easy sell for any embroidery shop. Not only that, but they are no more expensive to make than a standard iron-on patch. The only real difference is that we're going to need to use this. This is a piece of self-adhesive Velcro tape. You can easily find this at almost any craft store or on Amazon, which is where I got mine. To make a single patch, you'll use about $2 worth of Velcro. Along with our other materials, our total investment for a project like this is going to be around $4 to $5 in total. However, once we're done, we can easily sell our patch on Etsy for as much as $12 a patch, tripling our initial investment. If you're new to Etsy or online retail in general, we actually have a great video where our CEO, Henry Ma, shares his top 5 tips for selling embroidery on Etsy. I've put a link to that video in the card above and the description below. So, as you can see, we already have our design all set up in our digitizing software. Down here, we can see the individual components that make up our design. This actually represents the order that our machine will embroider our design once we get it all set up. We'll start with our demon's face. First, we select our complex fill tool. Then we're going to hit B to give us more control. Now we'll outline our demon's forehead. And then we'll select our color. Now we're going to do this red part of our demon's mouth. Then the mandible. For this part, since it's smaller, we're going to make this a satin stitch and set density to 0.20. Next, we'll move on to the flames. We'll stick with the complex fill. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, so we don't have to draw it twice, we're going to group these flames together. Then we're gonna copy, paste, and flip this over for the other side. Next, we'll do the ears. copy and paste like we did with the flames. Now, we're going to do the white part of the horns. Here, we're going to do something a little different. I'm basically going to connect all of these individual sections. This way, the machine can do this as a single stitch and won't have to make a bunch of stops. Next, we'll do the needles. Once we get the basic shape, we're going to right-click and select steel. Then we'll change the width. Then we're going to do the same thing here on the dice. And then the fangs. Now we're going to outline our demon. Drop the density down so he doesn't look hairy. Since we're embroidering this design on a piece of black felt, we won't need to embroider the back. So we can move on to the letters. Fortunately, we have our font already uploaded to our library, so we can type out our letters. Then we're going to come down here and select circle text. Now that we've got our lettering and our art, we're going to group all of our colors together and hide them. For the border, we're going to start with a simple run stitch. This is going to create the basic outline for our patch that we're actually going to cut out. Then we're just going to duplicate this to make the outline on our backing. And duplicate one more time. This will serve as our tack down stitch to secure our patch in place. We're going to add an extra tack down stitch that will secure our patch to our Velcro backing. Now we're going to do our zigzag stitch. Then we're just going to do a simulated marrow stitch to finish. Embroidering a Velcro patch does not differ greatly from embroidering a patch with a plain heat-sealed back. It's really just a question of adding in one extra step when we're digitizing our design. Now, if you've never tried embroidering a patch design before, we have a very helpful tutorial where we take you step by step through the process. I'll put the link to that video in the card above and the description below. For this project, I'm going to be using the MT1501. This machine is fast, powerful, and features a larger embroidery area of up to 22 by 14 inches, making it an ideal embroidery machine for creating bulk patches. We actually used the MT1501 in one of our earliest videos to embroider patches in bulk. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the link for that video in the card above and the description below. Now, let's get embroidering. So, we're going to start by actually embroidering our lettering, our outline, and of course, our super cool Stranger Things design directly onto our felt fabric. I'm going to use one sheet of no-show mesh, the felt fabric, and our C-hoop. There we go, nice and tight. Now we're gonna insert it to the machine. We're gonna set our design now. We're here in the panel. We're gonna select File. We're gonna go to the machine. And we're going to select Episode right here. There's our Stranger Things design. Now we're gonna go to Design Set. And we're gonna select the C-hoop, which is already selected, but just in case. And now, escape. And now we're going to trace our design. And now to press start. we'll now do a run stitch. All right, now that I have my lettering and my outline done, I'm gonna go ahead, take out the patch. I'm gonna put my 2 sheets of no-show mesh stabilizer on here. Now that my 2 sheets of no-show mesh are hooped, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into the machine. Next, we'll embroider a placement stitch. And what that does is it's gonna do the outline so that when I cut this patch, I can guide it on the no-show mesh so that it could do the tack down. Now that I have my guide stitch, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out my patch right here so that I can put my patch over on the guide. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna guide it. I'm gonna use the top point of the O as my guide. And now I'm gonna bring the presser foot down, make sure that it'll stitch. And I'm gonna hold it up until it's comfortable enough to where I can leave it so that I don't obviously stitch my fingers. Then we will embroider a tack down stitch to tack down the patch to the no-show backing. This will happen twice. Now that we have our patch tacked on, what we're gonna go ahead and do, our Velcro, we're gonna cut out our Velcro just enough so that it goes behind the patch, so when it does the tack down stitch for the Velcro, it holds in place. Then we will embroider a zigzag stitch, which includes the outer stitch and the inner stitch. Now that I have my Velcro attached to the patch, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the excess. That way when the marrow stitch is stitched in, there's no excess fabric. After we put back onto the machine, we will go ahead and embroider our marrow stitch. Now we cut our stabilizer, and finally we use a lighter to burn the edges carefully. This is to make the edges clean. And there we have our finished Velcro patch. It really came out great. The edges came out super clean, and the details in our design came out really vivid. And as you can see, our Velcro backing is now in place. We can easily attach it to any tactical backpack or garment using the corresponding loop portion of our Velcro tape. All right, got any other advice for me? Run.